Jordan Killinger. Jordan Killinger is a senior from Will Rice College, majoring in English with a minor in business. She credits God, her family, friends, fiance with all that she was able to accomplish these past 4 years as a student and this past year as an independent teacher. After graduation, she will continue serving kids in the greater Houston area as a 6th grade teacher at Memorial Lutheran Classical School.
Hello everyone. As Ian so graciously said, I am Jordan Killinger, and I have a question for you guys. Who here has a cell phone? Yeah, if you're not raising your hand, I know you're lying. So, the first photo on the left is actually the first selfie I took on my first iPhone in 2012. I am a part of a transitional generation who does remember a world without smartphones, but not much of it. And I now teach a generation who doesn't know a world without it, as you can see on the right. I am constantly faced with students who are picking between playing a game on their iPhone or reading a book. You can guess which one they choose. It's not reading a book. And so that leads me to ask the question, ultimately, how can we inspire kids to pick up the book instead, to love reading, and ultimately grow in their academic success by reading? So first, let's talk about what research says is going on in kids' brains when they are given access to the internet. So first off, digital natives, that's anybody who grows up with any internet technology. Typically, these people tend to have a shallower mode of informational processing. What does this mean? This means that this actually disrupts elements like inferential reasoning, reflection, critical analysis. These skills are core to, English majors, we can all agree, these are core to an English education. These are core to critical thinking skills. And so how do we face this? How do we fix this decline? Well, let's look at some literacy research. First off, researchers say that when exposed to physical print, students oftentimes grow in their language development. Growing in their language development then drives them to want to read more, which drives further language development and ultimately creates this positive feedback loop of learning that ultimately stimulates inferencing skills, critical analysis skills, reflection, the very things that access to internet, or at least continuous internet access, declines. So, how do we bring students from here to here? Nancy Allison provides the way. Nancy Allison is a literacy coach actually from the Houston area. She published a book in 2009 called Middle School Readers. And ultimately it talked about a curriculum called Supported Independent Reading. What is this curriculum? What does it do? It hinges on the idea that students are supposed to find an engaging and simultaneously challenging book. Each and every one of them. Yes, that means a teacher in the classroom is dealing with 35 books at one time. But she walks alongside the students, modeling the development of different skills like inferencing, like critical analysis. With model text, then she expects them to perform those same skills under her supervision with their own texts. She makes learning personal, applicable, and engaging. And you know what? The research today backs up this 2009 method. Studies show that engagement ultimately is the greatest predictor, the strongest predictor of reading growth. And once we get that positive feedback loop of reading in there, having students read interesting book after interesting book after interesting book, you have these skills retained, you have them developed further, and ultimately, you get kids with a smile on their face like this. Thank you very much.